everybody. Welcome to the Eric St. Joe podcast. Hello. Welcome. So glad that you are with me. The Eric St. Joe podcast, endorsed by 5 out of 5 battered women and their mothers. The show has begun. Just so you know, there is no way I'm going to leave you hanging. And I will get to the elephant in the room, but I just want to say welcome once again. The show originates from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. If you hear that crickly crackly, it's kind of a staticky type of thing. I might have to put my fist through something in a mere moment, and that will make some of you very, very happy. Come on, quit it. So embarrassing. I'm trying to be professional here, and my equipment is so shitty. I'm like, what do I do? But welcome into the show. Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. I do the show right here, and of course, where I discuss news, nonsense, and my daily adventures. Holy crap. Joe Gate winds on. Before I get to that, let me just tell you this, because there are a lot of people that are watching this for the first time, and I don't want you to have this become interrupted. If you want to get it as it happens live, you know I do the show live, and I'm not saying this I'm only saying this so that you don't miss anything, because some people are actually very interested in this, and for God's sake, it just keeps you informed as to what is up. It's an incredibly interesting, though horrific story that has happened and has unfolded before our very eyes. Some of us, it was no surprise. But, what you do is, because some of you are getting me right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But I do cut the cord on those at some point. Folks that are getting the show on Twitch, they get it uninterrupted. So while I'm talking for this handful of minutes, which you are getting on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, do go to Twitch. Like, open up another window. Go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live and give yourself a little username. Takes you 3 seconds, and follow me there. And then you can just shut down Facebook and get the show on Twitch. If you hit follow, it'll let you know when I go live. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yes, this saga does wind on, and I do have things that I want to talk about pertaining to this. When we last left you, we broke down Joe's post-Thanksgiving Day discussion on the Free Beer and Hot Wings show, with all of the after the relationship ended with Rachel. He was like, oh my God, it was a long-distance relationship, and boy, it really took the wind out of our sails. And then, there was like, well, why did you break up? So for 30 minutes, we're hearing him cry because they broke up, because it was a long-distance relationship. And then a lot of finger pointing as to the reason why he's so fucked up. And he didn't really say what he did to make anybody believe he's fucked up. He just said he's fucked up because Chicago gangs doing Joe stunts when he was a little boy, his words, not mine, being threatened with being fired by your old pal Eric Zane, Ashley Russell beating him, and Ashley lying about being pregnant with his baby. All that shit happened. We talked about that. Well, as the weekend draws closer, on Friday, what a lot of people thought was the final nail in the coffin for our old pal Joe was the very, very, very sad thing that was posted to Rachel's Instagram. That had been the spot where this all got started. And it's pretty unique because, according to Rachel, Town Square knew about Joe's abuse and gave him, you need mandatory training and you're not taken off of the air. All it took was her to post on Instagram that first post about he hit me and Town Square knew about it. And then just like that, he's off the air. So essentially what you have here is a Ray Rice of the Baltimore Ravens scenario. Remember? Ray Rice punched his wife in the face and nothing happened to the guy. And like 10 months later, the video comes out and now he doesn't play football anymore. You know, the way it should have been was when they found out that that happened, he shouldn't have been allowed to play football anymore. Outside of the fact that Joe's white and Ray Rice is black, there's a lot of similarities here. So she announces in a post, he hit me. We've seen it all, but I'll go back and share it with you. Once again, if you were to go to Rachel.Kelso, RACHEL.Kelso on Instagram and click on the tab that says Radio DV, you will be able to see this compilation of the things she's posted since this entire shit show started. But this is the one that did it. Things that Town Square Media knows about me, about my abuser, and at compassmedia.net should too. Poor Peter. He's like, I didn't know anything about this fucking shit. He hit me, damaged my property, threatened me and my family. He shared multiple non-consensual stories about me, especially pertaining to sex. He's abused several other women. Their solution, mandatory therapy, and he stays on the air. Radio industry supports and protects abusers. Enough is enough. Town Square Media is a publicly traded company, second or third largest radio entity in the United States. That post, it's not like she's Kim Kardashian. She's got like 2,500 people that saw it. Thank God someone on Reddit saw it and put it onto the subreddit, the Freeburn Hot Wings Show subreddit. That's when audience members saw it, and then they reached out to me and said, hey, what's going on here? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it. That guy, No Race, says, who are we talking about? Fortunately, the genie's out of the bottle so much we can't go backwards. You're going to have to fill in the blanks. I apologize for that, but stay with me. It'll all be made clear if you just kind of... You see, that's the thing. It's okay. It's okay. When the way the world is now, we're always like, oh my God, fear of missing out. What thing are we talking about? I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm not willing to put in the work to actually go back. So someone tell me. It's cool. All right. So as this is all unfolded, I'm kind of like marveling at, just 2,000 people on Instagram were able to make this actually the ball get rolling on this. I spoke with a listener of mine, a very sweet lady by the name of Erin, and she said, she's posted things before on there, but no one's picked up on it. They haven't been as aggressive as that, but she's done that before. And no one listened. No one was like, what's going on? No one put two and two together. So when she finally came out and said it like this, that's what got the ball rolling on it. So very interesting to me. And I am I'm going to address a lot of things here again, because it's very complex. And as much as I hate saying it's interesting, it's fucking interesting. All right. I've got a lot of people calling me out about me and what I'm doing, and I am going to address that. So everybody just chill. I got this. I know what the fuck I'm doing here. Getting back to her Instagram story. She left little doubt as things unfolded. This is the one that got it going. And like I said, she's posted other things in the past. This was what she wrote. October's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Be on the right side of history. Stop supporting abusers. For radio listeners, that includes not showing up for live events, halting subscriptions of their content, and switching the damn dial. Most listeners of Freeburn Hot Wings or anybody were like, I don't get it. Who's she talking about? Jesus. Knowledge of abuse and not taking real action is complacency. She's pointing the mad finger at Town Square. That's what that is. Not known is... Were Free Beer and Hot Wings aware? That is not known. If she made that known I don't ask too many questions of her because I don't want this to seem like I want to keep it to a point where I'm not like looking, hey, I just want to screw people over. If she chooses to tell me something, she tells me. By the way, radio personalities are paid for their endorsements and appearances. Don't put their money into the hands of abusers of the companies that support them. This person wrote to her, what's a bummer is when they are reported, but HR takes the side of the aggressor and cites the victim for speaking up. I'm working backwards now. This is prior to the nuclear bomb that was dropped. All this domestic violence material, discussion of narcissism, which is interesting because there are members of my audience who think I'm a narcissist. And they're like, you should probably pay attention to that shit, Zane. I was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man, but I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Narcissists are masters of illusion. They play the poor abused victim while in truth, maybe I do this. While in truth, they are wreaking havoc by torturing, mistreating, and abusing those that they fooled into loving them. I don't know. I'm not having sex with any of you guys. Anyway, what that is, a perfect example of that would be the 30-minute Chicago gangs hurt me speech. That's what the manipulation that we all witnessed when that all happened. Don't ignore red flags. And she lists, this is a graphic about overly possessive, blames you for abuse, gaslighting, yells at you in public, isolates you from your people. Okay. So that's how it started. But the next one, and this is going to make some of you upset because it made me upset. Okay. There's John, by the way, this guy, John William Coons III, who threatened her. You're going to be looking over your shoulder the rest of your life if Joe gets fired. Cope, bitch. That guy's fucked, by the way. He's begging me to call off the dogs. It's like, dude, that genie's out of the bottle. It's not even my audience. You woke up the beast because the folks on the Free Beer and Hot Wing Show segment 18 Facebook page saw that, and that's why they hate you. So don't blame me. It's your own stupid fault, you idiot. Desi Nosy _girl 2000 wrote, I hope you and Eric Zane get sued. Well, what are you going to sue me for? My corncob pipe collection? Shut the fuck up. Narcissists will do anything to destroy the reputation of anyone who can tell the world who they really are. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. No fear, no more. Okay, great. The victim blaming needs to stop. Someone took her that orange background post about narcissism and says, yeah, right. Kind of like what you're doing to Joe right now. Regardless of him being a piece of shit, he doesn't deserve a public crisis and to lose everything because you guys had a shitty relationship. Press charges if you feel the acts are criminal. Other than that, just move on. You don't even live in the same city, said Ryan.Donovan.1000. Fuck you. All right. This is the bad one, man. Oh, my God. The date, November 22nd, 2021. The incident in question happened Thanksgiving. The big fight, the blow-up, which led to the 30-minute on-air Joe Chicago gangs hurt me rat manipulation, all right, that we picked apart on this show, and I stuck my fist up his asshole. She writes, when you're in an abusive relationship, you feel extremely alone. This video was taken days prior to being hit and kicked out of my abusive ex's house on Thanksgiving morning. So as soon as this was posted, it caught fire and immediately went over to the FBHW Reddit. And then they said, well, that's it. There is no doubt, as if there was before, right? So I'm going to play this for you. And I have, by the way, everything about this. And Josh, you might not want to throw out the old cinnamon muff reference for fuck's sake. God damn it. Shut up. Jesus. Focus. All of this, if anyone has any thought that like, oh man, Is she aware of this? She's absolutely aware. She is encouraging me to do these things. And I have been very, very particularly careful to approach her every so often and say, is this too much? Do you want less? More? Is everything okay? And I've got green light, man. So, just so you know. So this is that. I've got audio check, video check, and this is what she shot, and this is what she says. So I'm not going to interrupt it or anything like that. Here we go.
I am only taking this video because I want to be able to look back on it and remember this feeling of anxiety and hurt and pain and heartbreak when I get talked to the way that he talks to me sometimes. Like, not everything has to be a fight. I'm trying really hard to be patient. It's just hard. So, anyway.
Shit. All right. That wrecked a lot of people. Sean says, are there updates from FBHW themselves? The only thing, hang on, I'll explain that in a second. Nothing has been voiced on the radio today. I'm going to get to it all. Trust me, I have this laid out. I'm going to cover it all. Trust me. All right. So that bummed me out bad. I mean, I just see Madison and Jackie right there. That's what I see. I'm like, holy fuck. Oh, shit. All right. There's more. She's, taking other people's posts and putting them on that same tab. You are allowed to talk about how someone has hurt you. This doesn't make you a bad person. If someone doesn't want you telling people what they did, then odds are they shouldn't have done it in the first place. Okay. This fuck, Tyler.p.mulvey, Mulvey, on Instagram. I tried to follow him. It's private. He took one of her posts, like the one I just showed you, this one right here, and his words to her, LMAO, so over the top with the attention seeking, regardless how terrible the guy was. Regardless how terrible the guy was, he writes, you're devoting so much time to him in the last few days, and it's kind of weird. It's just weird. You're attractive, smart, and successful, and you're obsessed with being a victim for your followers. I hope you find peace off social media. Oh, fuck. More things she posted. And, okay, now this is key. 5 traits of the covertly narcissistic abuser. One of the pages in this, here, this is the only thing that tells me to makes me believe that the Freeburn Howing Show is ready to drop the hammer on Joe. One of these pages here, Kelly Cheese put it on her Instagram. Okay? I don't know how to fucking get a C post. There it is. C post? Yeah. 5 traits of the covertly narcissistic abuser. Presents with an even temperament, which unravels later as resentment builds due to internal conflict, challenged and or rejected. Chooses partners, friends who boost their egos based on, I guess, superficial characteristics. This can include, but not limited to, looks, age, intelligence, reputation, perceived dominance, inferiority, and or success. All right. Maybe great. It says, I think that says, that's fried, right? Is fried F-R-E-I or F-R-I-E? It means friend. Maybe a great friend, confident, and or lover on the surface. When threatened, they will continue to deny there is an issue. They seemingly remain cool while seething and becoming increasingly passive-aggressive, denying there is an issue. Will intensify covert abuse due to building underlying resentment they rarely admit. This might look like ghosting, Gina, silent treatment, stonewalling, and may become verbally abusive in conflict. Creates fantasy stories of who they are in order to create a perception of superiority in contrast to their targets. This is also done in order to dissuade you from challenging their authority. Rachel's dear friend Kelly posted this on her Instagram. So that means, well, you can read into that. She wants to kick his ass too, as well as she should. The problem with this type is they aren't readily identifiable early on, as they're very invested in the image of being the nice girl, nice guy. However, if you're paying attention, then you'll start to see the discrepancies in who they say they are to the world and who they truly know themselves to be. So there you go. Let's see. What the fuck? I think I fucked this up. Okay. More narcissistic stuff. 6 signs you've been emotionally abused. Okay. Public embarrassment. I witnessed that with Katie. Yeah, okay. So now you know. Now you're up to speed. And honestly, I could do a whole show based on just her tab that says Radio DV to just basically sit there and punch Joe nonstop, and he'd have nothing. He'd have nothing. But there's so much more to get to, because that video left no doubt on the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show subreddit, and everybody's like, it's over. It's obvious. But then, as the night wound down, 10:30, 10:45, audience member Rob V reached out to me, and he said, it's happening. Compass is scrubbing Joe from the website. Okay, you're like, Compass, Town Square, what does all this mean? What's going on? Just so we're all on the same page here. Radio station, WGRD, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Joe is employed by that radio station. It is owned by Town Square Media. Since the show is syndicated throughout the country, all right, there is a syndicator. It's one man. Well, it was one. It was a guy. It's a guy named Peter Kosan. He runs Compass Media Networks. Brilliant man. And he started a syndication company. For a long time, he ran Bloomberg Radio. Michael Bloomberg. Like, he was the guy. He also ran a radio company called, I think, Connoisseur. So he said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I want to do a syndication company. And the first show he ever heard of that he wanted to add to his syndication company was the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. And I remember I was walking down the street with Greg and Chris and in Cocoa Beach, Florida, because we were going to watch a Daytona 500. We get a fucking phone call from Peter. He says, hey, yeah, I want to syndicate the show. He flies to Grand Rapids, and he makes the pitch. We said, you're the guy. And syndication rights are his. He then distributes it throughout the United States. Does a hell of a job. Since then, Compass Media Networks has grown to an unbelievable level. They do sports, college football, pro football. They have shows all over the place. What? You want to take a look? Oh, I'd love to show you. Here you go. Here's a look at it. You got all these shows. I haven't really heard of them, but, they're all Rick and Bubba, Big D and Bubba, I should say. Rick D's Top 40. These are all Peter's shows, and he distributes them to radio stations all around the country with a staff of people. He employs tons of people on 2 coasts, all right? And he has taken this vision that started the first show, I shit you not, with the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show, and in 10 years, he's built it to this. Ace and TJ, legendary show. Those guys, they're very, very funny, very, very nice. If you look right here on Friday, this was changed. Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Steve, Free Beer, Hot Wings, Kelly. There's been a serious Photoshop bit done on this. Okay? Pretty good, by the way. Steve kind of looks like he's floating a little bit with the right foot, but I would say, so Compass is erasing Joe as we speak. People started talking about it online, and if you look, it says here, Free Beer, Hot Wings, Free Beer and Hot Wings Show, Kelly Cheese, Greg Daniels, Chris Hot Wings, Michael, Steve McKiernan. Joe's gone. Hosted by Greg Freebeer Daniels, Chris Hot Wings Michaels, Kelly Cheese, with executive producer Steve. And he's not there. The only thing that shows up is if you click on this picture, you see Joe's picture. But I think that one just kind of slipped through the cracks or something like that. So everybody at that point is like, it's over. Yes, on Saturday, the show normally publishes a bit of content to their like podcast platform, a show that they call Pre-Beer and Hot Wings, which is a way of saying it's old shit when like I was on. And they didn't post it. And I don't know, I think the optics of Joe speaking on that's a problem. That is a problem. So, all right, that all unfolded, and there was a lot of people like, oh my God, I think this is actually going to happen. And then today, I actually set my alarm, and I wanted to hear them talk about it, and nothing happened. They've not spoken of it. I've noticed that the way they sound, it's a little too hyper. I think I get the impression that they're really, really putting up the walls in order to pull the show off. I am not ready to throw them under the bus for being complicit yet. I haven't heard that, and I don't know. I'll say this. I want to punch Greg in the face for about a million other ridiculous reasons that have nothing to do with this. And I told him so. When this all broke, I said, you're fucked. Good dick. I don't like Greg at all. It was a fucking pain in the ass just to put up with his ass the time I work with him. And I'm sure he'll say the same thing. Fuck that guy. But I will say that I can't say for sure that they were aware of any of this. I'm not going to indict them that they had anything to do with it. I don't know. I haven't asked Rachel, and if she happens to offer that information up, great. But I'm not asking. I will give them the benefit of the doubt that there's a big bout of legal going on right now, and they may never, ever speak of it and just wipe the slate clean. But I do think it's fair to ask the question, okay? It's fair to ask the question, what did you know and when did you know it? And you're probably going to get, well, because of legal reasons, I can't answer that or anything like that. So this might not ever be, because you know how this is. In a lot of cases, the cover-up is worse than the crime. And if it is learned that we all knew. I mean, they're fucking finished, right? So, I actually expected today that Greg would start the show and say, and basically, it's too bad lawyers get in the way of things like this, because if, from an armchair quarterback perspective on this, let's just say Greg, Chris, Kelly, these people, no one even knew that this even happened, that it was kept between Rachel and the executive people at the radio station. All right. I go on the air and I light his ass up. I disavow. I state my case as to where, and you fucking let the chips fall. That's what's right. You put her on your show. Absolutely. You apologize to Ashley. You apologize to Gina Rizzolo. You bring Addison into the mix, who was doxxed on the show by Joe. There's a fifth that I am not allowed to say. So, but I seriously doubt that will happen, but that would be a very good way to put up a wall between you and the psychopath that you had in your midst for the longest fucking time. And let me say this. You need to go back and listen to when I really broke down Joe's 30-minute Chicago gangs hurt me crybaby post-Thanksgiving fiesta. Because the absurd manipulations that he did in the gaslighting to the hosts, the audience, family, friends, lovers, ex-lovers, is ridiculous. Poor Greg, if you remember that, at the end of it, he's like, Joe, this is a great first step for you. At that point, he's fucking duped. He is snowed over somehow by Joe. I would, if I'm Greg, I'd want to beat the fuck out of him for making me look like such an asshole. Okay? So, let me just say, I don't like giving Greg the benefit of the doubt at all, but I think he deserves it in this case because he may be a cock, but he's smart. And I don't think that I don't think he's stupid to fall for. Well, he did fall for that, but I don't think he would ever go to that level. He's fucked up in my opinion, but I don't think he would, dive into that mess, knowing full well that could end him if he is furthering the lie. So I don't think that. Now, and we'll probably never know. I want to give you an idea of, because some of you are listening and you're like, Eric Zane, you're so full of shit. Okay. This is all you manipulating this for your own interests. And this exchange with these folks kind of do a better job of explaining. My written, thoughtful words do a better job of explaining me than me talking to you right now. Does that make sense? Mac wrote to me, man, I fucking loved you on the old show and honestly stopped listening for about 2 years after you got fired. Just wasn't the same. Recently found the podcast. Not sure why I didn't sooner, but I think I came in at a bad time since it seems to have brought up a lot of hate from you. I wrote, no, man, I don't hate anybody. And then this guy, Tim, wrote, it sure seems like you do, especially since you can't let something that doesn't concern you go. And then he says, it's been days of you promoting your own show, promoting an unfortunate situation to your own personal gain. I said, Tim, it does concern me. 4 out of 5 women who have said they were abused reached out to me. I reached out to the 5th, Rachel Kelso. I told her I'd be talking about this, and I told her I'd be aggressive. I asked her if she had an issue with that. She said she did not. I also asked that again in the days that followed. She said to keep doing what I'm doing. When someone with a chip on his shoulder, me, decides to get behind a story like Rachel's, I'm swinging my little hammer that much harder. It's not my fault Joe treats women horribly. Blame him. Tim writes, you're using it for your own personal gain at this point. You promote it on the show for your own personal chip on your shoulder. Do it anonymously and be a hero. He also says, I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, but when people ask for info, the only thing you do is post a link to your show. Personal promoting the views for views and likes. That's what I see in all this. Not somebody who's actually concerned about these girls, is what he says. He then adds, and wait a minute, hold on. I forgot my response. Oh, shit. Did I hit most relevant or all comments? No, I did hit all comments. Well, where the fuck are my comments? Okay, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because I really want to read this shit. God damn it. I said that the only time that I had posted a link was when someone said, I need to hear Joe from way back when, that clip. And I shared it with them. personal promoting for views and likes. That's not what I see in all this, or that's what I see in all this. Not somebody who's actually concerned about these girls. And I said, well, of course I'm not going to do it anonymously. The point of all this is to get more people to pay attention to it. Not me, but to the story. There's 19,000 people on there. So why would I not? That's the point of all of this. Janae says, well, then you should be sharing other people's stories all the time and not just Joe's. She said something else too. And I lost it. God, I really failed here on getting the notes ready on this. And I said, well, first of all, that's impossible. I grabbed onto this one because of the reasons that I indicated earlier. I know 4 of the 5 people came up to me. I reached out to the 5th. There's a dialogue there. I know Joe. I've been manipulated, an attempt to manipulate me when Joe's talked on the show. So you're damn right I have an interest in these things. My God, I am the most qualified to talk about these things. So now we wait. Does this turn into anything more? I would think it does. I would think that the end is near for Joe. Corey says, wait, looks like Sam and Corey are discussing, since you see it is worse, Ashley, then it's okay for Zane to call women. Oh, here you go. Sammy's, this has come up. I have called women ugly, bad haircuts, and fat. Absolutely. And honestly, for those particular fucking women, I don't feel the least bit bad about it because you're assholes who came at me in the first place. Entirely different. So if you want to say, yeah, Eric Zane, he's an abuser. He calls a fat bitch. You're goddamn right I am, because she is. People who are mean to me get fucking insults. All right? I'm not going to sit back and just be treated like a bitch. I don't have to. Okay? This is not a goddamn democracy here. So if you are trying to equate a woman in a relationship who got the shit beat out of her by her lover to some fat bitch, some whore with jack teeth, or some other asshole, well, fuck you. You're crazy. Okay? So there you go. That's how I feel about that. I knew one of you dumb motherfuckers was going to come on here and try that shit with me. Do your best. Fuck you, you piece of shit. And fuck them. All right. All right. That is going to do it for the update on the saga. I do need to take a break already, and I'm going to let you people go ahead and hash this out and discuss it. So for any of you lurkers who show up here and change your goddamn names, have at it with the rest of the group. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you, you spineless cunts. Okay. Stay right there. I will be back in just a minute. I got to go tinkle. Welcome back. Trevor writes, I hate the Amazon ads. Yeah, I know. You know there's a way around that, don't you? We've covered that ground. You can actually move. Welcome to Crazy Ashley. Crazy Ashley. Well, that's Ashley. That's the Ashley. I expect she'll be quite active. Quote, everyone wants to talk about Harvey Weinstein, but why are we giving a pass to people who share Netflix passwords? All right. If you are on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, I got to set you free. Set you free, why don't you, babe? Get out my life, why don't you? Woo, 'cause you don't really need me. You just keep me hanging on. All right. Go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. You want the rest of the show. If you don't, it's okay. You can always download the audio podcast later on.